Nick, can you open this up?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Every time I do, we got to start over.
No, just one time. You're
Welcome
over
back.
here ticking off
Tough
producer
Minute Faith.
Blake.
Season 6.
Season 6. We got that down now.
Episode 102-ish.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
over 100.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then what do you have sunglasses on your head for?
Oh, dude, these I can't redo this. Oh.
Just put them down. Just
All right,
let
let's just
everybody
put
see
them down. The
All right.
lights in here drive me nuts. Fluorescent lights, they're terrible for your eyes.
Yeah.
I have an eye condition. They just turn like red. So
Yeah.
Anyway.
So are you going to go with that look?
I think so. I like it.
Okay.
I'm not mad about it.
It's tough to look at you. I'm not going to lie. But I'll
Is
get
it like
used to
the
it.
massive sex appeal, or like what is it?
You know, let's move on. We have a guest with us today. Welcome, Seth.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thanks
Are
for
you
having me.
really rethinking coming on?
No. This is my type of crowd.
Okay, well, this is the only type of crowd that will hang out with me. Otherwise, I would definitely pick other people.
Right. Yeah. Not everyone's friends with their pastor. Okay. In fact, most people shy away from it.
Yeah.
I embrace it.
He does. Seth, this is Nick. Nick, this is Seth.
Good to meet you.
I met Seth about a year ago.
Yeah.
He runs, at the time, I think still do. He had this ministry. You're trying to bring together young adults across the city.
Reconference.
Reconference. Yep. Yeah. And what is wrong with you?
Man, there's a problem when people say anything. I don't think about it as redoing something. Never mind.
Okay.
Just go on.
So he started this conference, which I think is a really cool thing.
Yeah,
We met
It's a conference.
about a year later. We connect again. Blake and I met with him. Didn't take you long.
Gotcha.
Just to look for ways that.
That's probably good.
Definitely good.
Yeah.
Heard Seth's story about how he's sharing the gospel and using clothing to do that, and thought that was a really cool story. Wanted him to be on the podcast to kind of share that with other men. It's one of the things we do is we want ordinary men to see how they can live out their faith in life. So we love bringing guys on who are just doing that. And so from that, we found that, hey, maybe there's a partnership that we can have with Increase Jesus.
Holy shirts and pants.
So Increase Jesus, we really like what they're doing.
Yep.
Seth was at least okay with what we're doing,
Right.
But he hasn't watched too many episodes.
He's like, I'll give you like one shirt for Nick, but I don't want him wearing it 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah.
I don't want too many people to see it on him.
You never know.
So we're going to partner with them this season,
Awesome.
and with some things. Just really, really excited about that, what they're doing. So I want to bring Seth on today and kind of hear his story and go from there.
All right.
That
sounds like fun.
Yeah, not really much of a plan.
Yeah.
So, Seth, can you just take us through when you were born to how you got to where you're at right now in the next 5 minutes?
Oh, wow. So, from when I was born. Well, I was born in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island?
Yeah, I was born in
Okay.
Rhode Island. And so, born and raised there till I was about 10. And then my parents really wanted to have me in a Christian school.
Okay.
And we had some family that lived in Indiana. And so we kind of packed up everything and moved here because there really wasn't a good Christian school out where we were at.
Your parents were, they were committed to your Christian education if they.
Oh, yeah.
if they-
Both of my older sisters had already graduated.
Yeah.
And they were out of the house. And so my parents were like, we really want to get Seth in a good Christian school. They tried homeschooling for a year. That did not
didn't
work
work.
out
Yeah.
for them because I just sat upside down the whole entire time and
Yep.
didn't really learn much. But we moved here, and then we lived up in Fishers.
Okay.
And and then after that, I was going to church up there, going to school, went to Heritage Christian School.
Okay.
Up on the north side, graduated, and then we switched churches, and we have been going down to the Baptist Temple
Okay.
since I was about a junior in high school.
Yeah.
And then graduated from there, from Heritage, and then went to Anderson University for a year. Was doing double majoring in vocal performance and graphic design.
Are you a singer?
Yeah, a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, I sing on the worship team every once in a while. I haven't done it in a.
We might need to hear that.
I don't think so. But then they were like, "Hey, we're getting rid of the art program at Anderson University." So I was like, "Oh, that's kind of what I want to do."
Yeah.
And left there, went to University of Indianapolis, and graduated from there. Graduated and then got married in the same month.
Okay.
Graduated at the beginning of the month, married at the end of the month.
Okay.
and then I've been married for 7 years.
Okay.
Nice.
Kids?
Yeah, 3 kids.
We
Three
just
kids.
celebrated our 8th anniversary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think we're going on 7 years.
Better get it right. This is recorded.
I
man.
know.
Yeah, she'll see this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she'll see this.
All right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
I tell my wife not to listen anymore. I
that's
dig holes for
the best.
myself on here.
So you grew up in a Christian home. Like,
Yeah.
when did you come to faith?
So, my mom always told me that I was saved from 4 years old.
Yeah.
I was in the church my entire life.
Yeah.
But in high school, I got to a point where I was like, I'm not really living like I should.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing a chapel one day, and they talked about rededication. And I was like, kind of what's that?
Yeah.
And so in high school, I kind of rededicated my life to Christ and to God, and to be like, okay, I'm not just going to live my life how I want to, and just kind of rededicate my life.
Yeah.
Got more involved with church, and
Nice.
Yeah. One thing that we have a lot of younger people that we minister to at our church. And one thing that we've encouraged, like, that's a great testimony to have. And I think we need to promote that as
Yeah.
well. Like, so maybe you've experienced this growing up in church, some that they'll bring in people to give a testimony. I went out and I lived it up and lived like the world for my entire life. And then, Jesus saved me, and, now I'm going this direction, which
Yeah.
I love hearing those testimonies. I also love hearing the testimonies of kids like, I grew up in a Christian home, and this is going to sound really boring, but I never walked away. I kept serving, and I've just always followed Jesus.
yeah. I always struggled with that
Yeah.
when I was a kid, because you would hear all these awesome stories of people and be like, oh, well, I need to have something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, the awesome story is that I'm still here.
Yeah.
That I'm still serving God, and that I still love God even from a young age. But I've gone through the process, and life has changed, and my relationship with God has changed from when I was 4 years old to now.
Yeah. Well, and because the other side that I've tried to encourage even my own kids with is like, hey, there's some really cool testimonies. That also comes with a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
Now they're
Right.
they're saved as much as you are, and they're redeemed, and
Yep.
Jesus has forgiven them their sins. But there's a price to pay for sin, and
Yeah.
even though your sins may be gone for eternity,
Yeah.
you may be still dealing with some of the after effects of those drugs or that previous relationship and things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Consequences are
They
still
are.
there.
They're still there. Yeah. So I feel like the church many times, which I'm a pastor, and I experience, like, if we put someone up that has this like a real exciting testimony, everyone gets pumped.
Yeah.
If you put someone up, it's like, I grew up,
Yeah.
I never walked away.
Yeah.
I was in youth group.
Yeah.
I went to college.
Boring.
I waited till I got married to have sex,
I've
and then
heard
I
that.
started having kids after I got married, and that's just kind of my life. Like,
Yeah.
man, that's a life to emulate. Like,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, that's kind of my story.
Yeah, so that's,
in a nutshell.
yeah, so I was excited to hear it. But then kind of transition that,
Yeah.
one of the things I want to talk about is like the motive behind like you starting your own business, because you work
Yeah.
for a church,
Yeah.
right? Would that be your full-time gig?
Yeah.
All right.
I work for Indianapolis Baptist Temple as the
Okay.
communications director full time.
Okay.
Yeah.
The fun story about that is, so I was in college, and Matt had just taken over as pastor, and I went to him and I was like, hey, I want to serve the church with my talents with graphic design, and I want to do it for free. I want to redesign the church logo. I want to redesign the church website.
Yeah.
And he's like, free? Yeah. And
Everybody gets a job
yeah,
when it's free.
Yeah. And so I started working there, and then after I graduated, I was working for a company, and then when it came down to it, we had hired the church on as a client for the company.
Okay.
But at the same time, the company had lost a major part of their profits. They lost a client that was come up with about 50% of their profit.
Okay.
So they were like, hey, Seth, we got to downsize you. But if you talk to the church, see if they'll work it out, where you can take the money that they would be paying us, but them to pay you to supplement your income.
Yeah.
Nice.
And talk to Matt. And Matt was like, yeah, perfect.
That's
Sounds
awesome.
great. So actually being paid part-time from the church, doing 10 hours a week.
Yeah.
And then once I got full-time job, still doing the 10 hours.
Right.
And then Matt had been on me, trying to get me to come on staff full-time. And I was just like, nope.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, still working for my job. We ended up moving where we were like in home. So I was working from home. And Matt was just talking to me one day. We were meeting, and he was like, "I really want you to come down." I'm like, "I'm ready. I think you're ready." And I was like, "No." My wife was in the meeting with me, and Matt had gone to the bathroom, and she was like, "You'd be able to do a lot more for the church that you really want to do."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Okay." Matt came back from the bathroom, and I was just like, "All right, I'm in." And he was like, "What
Wait a
happened?"
Yeah.
And
Well, my wife talked some sense into
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
wives do.
and so then I get into the office, which was home office.
Yeah.
Yep.
And in my email was a voluntary severance offer to leave my company.
Really?
And the date that Matt wanted me to come on staff was the date that they had set as my last day.
Oh, wow.
So I was just like, wow, that's God's timing.
Yeah,
for
no
me.
kidding.
Kind of just leaning in, saying, "Okay, God, if this is where you want me to go,
Right.
I'm here."
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it is. So tell us about what's Increase Jesus.
So Increase Jesus is a clothing brand just trying to help people share Jesus in a different way, through what they wear mainly.
Okay.
I was at a part in 2021 where I just didn't feel like I was sharing the gospel enough. And so I bought some clothes from some other brands. And I was like, well, God created me to be a designer.
Yeah.
And so I started designing some basic logos, some basic stuff. And that was actually the first shirt that I designed.
Nice.
Just Increase Jesus out of John 3:30. He must increase, but I must decrease.
Okay.
And so I was wearing that shirt at the Mocha Coffee Shop. And a kid was sitting at another table, and he was like, "Hey, I really like your shirt." I was like, "Thanks.
Yeah.
I made it." And he was like, "Can I buy one?" I was just like, "Sure."
Yeah.
And I was like, he was like, "How much?" I'm like, "I don't know, $10."
Yeah.
$10. And he ran over to his mom, grabbed $10 and gave it to me. And I was like, and that was the first shirt that I sold.
Yeah. Did you just get him a
For-
shirt off your back? Is that
No, no.
Oh, okay.
Now
All
get a
right.
bag of them.
Yeah, I went home, made him one,
Yeah.
and met him up at the Mocha Nut again, and
Nice. That's
gave
awesome.
it to him. And then from there, I had other people be like, "Hey, I really want to buy your stuff. I really want some." And I was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like, "Okay, God, if this is what you want me to do,
Right.
I'll kind of lean into it and kind of
Yep.
go."
So you're doing that full time?
No.
Okay.
It's more, in my mindset, a ministry instead of a business.
Okay.
Because I'm just trying to help other people
Yeah.
who are in my shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm not a person that will just go up to someone and be like, "Hey, do you know
Right.
Jesus?"
Yeah.
That's not really my
We avoid those
personality.
people out in public, actually.
Yeah. I'm a little bit more. I'm an introvert extrovert
Yeah,
kind of person.
I get that.
I'm introverted until you get me,
Yep.
and then I'm extroverted.
Totally understand that.
And so, just trying to help other people with the same mindset where it's like, and it's hard for me to just make that step.
Right.
But wearing something that kind of opens the door to start conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you didn't set out to start a business.
No.
It was like, hey, I'm gonna make a T-shirt so
Yeah.
people see I love Jesus, and
Yeah.
maybe open a door for me to share Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was it.
Interesting. So would you consider yourself an entrepreneur? Like, because you definitely have that spirit. At least it feels like starting this.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was never part of the goal. Like, I
No.
really want to start a business or.
No, and I've gotten some more people kind of helping me out and from that entrepreneurial
Yeah.
side of it, because I'm just like, I'm like, I don't want anything to come to me. Like,
Right.
I wanted to just go into the business,
Yeah.
like go into the ministry and all that.
Yep.
And that's just kind of my mindset right now. Eventually, I'll probably get to a point where I might take a small percentage,
Yeah.
but I really want it to be where it just kind of funds itself.
Yep.
Yeah. And so right now, I know you have a website,
Yeah.
right? IncreaseJesus.com.
IncreaseJesus.com. Yeah.
And then you also will show up at some concerts or
Yeah.
different events. And
Yeah, I will pop up at different like church events or
Yeah.
I just did a conference a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Left Mother's Day, or not Mother's Day, left Easter morning
Yeah.
and drove out to Virginia, spent some
Okay.
time with some family, then went to West Virginia and went to a conference for youth.
Okay.
Nice.
And, yeah, but we'll do worship nights in the area. I'm also setting up at Reconference this year,
Yeah.
which is the conference that I kind of co-direct
Okay.
with another guy.
Yeah. I think what's really stood out to me about your story when I heard it the first time is
Yeah.
that, so you're definitely like that creative type personality, right? It's how
Yeah.
you're gifted.
Yeah.
Which sometimes could lead to more of an introvert
Yeah.
type personality.
Yeah.
But still feeling like, I'm designed to share the gospel.
Yeah.
I think we all are.
Yeah, because I sit behind a computer
Yeah.
majority of my time.
Yep.
And so, like Matt will talk about like how because he's out and about and he's the pastor, but I'm stuck behind a computer, and for me it's just hard to just go out and just talk to people because, I mean, where do you get to talk to a lot of people in your workplace or where you're at? It's like my workplace.
Yeah.
I'm in my office
Yeah.
a lot of the time, or the church. Every once in a while, go out to the Mocha and get some coffee and work from there. But
Nice.
but it's really just kind of bringing Jesus into my everyday life.
Yeah.
And the more that I can do that is because it's just a reminder to me that I need to be sharing the gospel, that I need to be doing what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
What have you learned during this process?
You can't sell T-shirts for $11 anymore.
That's true.
I've learned a lot. I've learned that people just want just genuineness. People just want, because I can put stuff out online and it's cold, but like just like an ad or something like that. But when I get to actually like talk to people about the shirts or anything, or even basically just talking about Jesus, it's just a different thing.
Yeah. What do you think about Nick?
Nothing, man. I like my shirt.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So you actually brought us some shirts along
Yeah.
today. So Nick's wearing
Yeah.
the original.
Yeah,
The
that's the first
I
one.
might need another one of
OG.
these. This is
Yeah.
going to be sleeveless in a couple hours.
Yeah. The first year I designed 3 shirts. It was that one, the image bearer, which says image bearer, but it says in reverse.
Okay.
So that when you look at yourself in the mirror, it reminds you that you bear the image of God, that you're
Nice.
not God yourself.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
And then just the basic verse T, which has like the plus and minus, and then the John 3:30 on the back.
Okay.
So that was like my first kind of what I did.
Yeah, like your initial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I designed one for Reconference that year, and the theme was restore. So
Okay.
I had on the back where it said just Jesus restores my soul.
Yeah.
And just a basic message, because I want it to be gospel focused,
Right.
and Jesus focused, not just a cool design that
Yeah.
Yep.
just for cool design's sake. I want it to be like
Yeah, I feel
from
like
the Bible.
I feel like you have to mix both of those.
Yeah. And then the second year is when I came out with the his canvas T-shirts. One is on like a canvas colored, and then one is on like a green heathered shirt.
Okay.
And then I did the copyright Jesus, and on the back it says "Ask me why," to say that we've been copywritten by Jesus, because the process of copywriting something is you have to pay a price. And so Jesus came and paid that price. God owned us in the beginning, but when Jesus came, he made us a new creation. And that's where the copyright Jesus came from. And what else? I did in that year, I also did the like a rap style Jesus tee. So it's like Jesus in like a big kind of like grungy rap style T-shirt
With the Flavor Flav chain on.
with lightning bolts and all that. And that one was a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
And then the Disciple Maker I did last year too. And then this year's focus is doing one new shirt a month.
Cool.
So I did the Maranatha shirt for January. The Better is One Day, which is what you're wearing, is
You'll
February.
be better one day.
And then the His Courts, which is what I'm wearing, was March. April, I've got a university style tee coming.
Yeah. Who's your demographic you're mainly selling to?
Teens and young adults.
Okay. Well, I shared with you that I showed my daughters your website, and they just love the designs and stuff. And part of it, so I have one. She's in college.
You might want to start taking that profit soon.
Yeah.
The sales are about to be booming.
She doesn't go to a Christian college.
Yeah.
And so one thing she has found that she tries to be intentional about wearing some different like Christian shirts or things. And so when she saw some of your designs, she's pretty excited. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I really don't want to take away from what anybody else is doing. I just want to add my own designs to it.
Yep.
And I try to create all my own designs myself, and it's just kind of stuff that's been in my brain. I've got like 40 T-shirts in my notes on my phone.
Works.
Yeah.
And just kind of working through those.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I just love how we talk a lot about on this podcast, like guys need to find areas they're gifted in and use that. And so you're gifted in a way that's very different from Nick and I.
Yeah.
We are not. We're not graphic designers,
Yeah.
and we're not that creative mindset.
Yeah.
And so I think when guys are that way and they learn to lean into that
Yeah.
and use that, it can just do.
It's really serving with your time, talents, and
Yeah.
treasures, and that's kind of what Matt always talks about is your time, talent, and treasure.
Yep.
You got to give all three.
Yeah, Matt. So you're talking about Matt's Matt Roller.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the guests we've had on here the most.
Yeah.
Because supposedly these guys think, Blake and Nick, that he has like a burner Twitter account or
Oh, yeah.
something. Like,
Yeah.
And so occasionally we get messages like, "Hey, bring Matt back on. Bring Matt back on."
I really want to see Matt Roller.
Yeah,
again.
and they're like people out of state asking, are like, we think Matt set up a bunch of accounts,
Yeah, a bunch of
and
fake accounts.
is begging to get
Yeah.
back on
Yep.
here. We're not sure why.
Maybe he paid you to do it. That's
No.
why you're laughing over there. 'Cause Matt, he says he can't use the internet well.
If you ever see one that comes from Pasta
Yeah.
Matt, that might be me.
Okay.
We talked about creating like a little sub account for him that's Pasta Matt,
Nice.
That's
and
funny.
just Matt with different pastas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to get access to that and post some stuff for Matt too. Like,
Yeah.
it's- Yeah, so if we already mentioned increasejesus.com is where people can go. You have
Yeah.
shirts, hats, stickers,
Yeah.
sweatshirts.
Yep.
I'm missing anything?
No, I'd love to do some sweatpants, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe during the winter.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'm gonna launch a kids line. I've got some that I do for my kids, so if anybody wants one, I'll do one.
Okay.
But
Yeah. Okay. And you're sponsoring this season of
Yeah.
Tough Men of
Yeah.
Faith, right?
Yeah.
I like it. It's still small enough that you can do one-off stuff if you want to.
yeah,
You're not just crazy over the top right now, and you just absolutely can't. But
so I process and make all the shirts
Okay.
myself. And one thing that I like to do is I pray over each item from the moment that it comes in to the moment that it goes out. So right now I have a box of, I've got I think 7 boxes of shirts.
Yeah.
Some are for Villa.
yeah, we've got 46,000 shirts
Yeah.
going on right now.
Yeah.
But
That's why you're talking about wanting to make your
Yeah.
house bigger.
Yeah.
It's all the shirts you've
yeah,
got.
I need my own space. But
Yeah.
when they come in, I pray over the boxes, and then I take them out and I organize them and I pray over them.
Yeah.
And then I press all the shirts myself.
Okay.
And so while I'm pressing them, I'm listening to worship music, being
Yeah.
in that prayerful mindset and that prayerful mode, and just praying over the shirts. And then before I package an order, I write a handwritten note.
Nice.
That is just a simple prayer that I pray this shirt can be used to share the name of Jesus and bring it from here to the ends of the earth.
Yeah. That's great.
Yep.
So we have a lightning round we do at the end.
Oh.
I don't know if Blake told you about this.
No, I was
Okay.
not warned.
Okay, I think it's Nick's job to tell
That's
you.
good. Yeah, it was my job to tell you, and since we hadn't met yet.
Yeah, we just ask a few questions.
Let's go.
So one would be,
Lightning round.
if you can meet anybody in history,
If I could meet,
but not Jesus,
meet anybody in history.
yeah, who would you want to meet and why?
I know it's like random, but I've always had like a fascination with Lincoln.
Okay.
So he's just like a guy that I'm like, I'd like to
Yeah.
meet.
Yeah.
I think he's tall,
Right.
but
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. But
There's
like
a lot of
that
other reasons.
yeah.
That's probably the questions I'd
and
have for him. But
Look at a
yeah.
guy that stands in opposition.
Yeah.
And, faithfully stands in opposition and still sees it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like the first
you have-
person like just
You have the
random.
southern half of the country wanting to kill you.
Yeah.
You
Just
know?
stood on some strong conviction,
Yeah.
right? And stayed with it. Yeah. I agree.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah. Next question.
Who would play you in a movie?
Who would play me in a movie?
Yeah. What actor would you be like? That is definitely
That's
who would play
me.
Seth.
Like that actor emulates me, or
I don't know. I really don't. I get a lot of people that say that I look like Rupert Grint or like something like that. I don't see it. Some
Okay.
people do. Some people say because my name is Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
But I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. So,
all right.
Okay.
You have a favorite book?
do I have a favorite book?
Not the Bible.
Not the Bible.
Nice try. That's the easy answer.
Yeah, probably. For some people, it's a little controversial, but the Harry Potter series
Okay.
is probably my fave.
Yeah. My daughter loves those.
Yeah.
We had this past week what were we preaching through? Something on the church, and I needed something just to show like the tent
Yeah.
that the church could be and things different. And my daughter likes Legos.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, give me something that looks like a house.
She bring you like the sorting hat.
She brought me out like this Harry Potter thing. I was like, well, whatever your thought is on Harry Potter, that's fine. I was like, but I'm not going to take that in front of the church because I just don't feel like dealing with the emails tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
In the church, some people.
Yeah. So anyways, all right. So Harry Potter.
Yeah.
All right. We've never had that recommendation.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right. So then,
Oh wait, he didn't recommend it. We just asked him his favorite.
oh, that's
Do you
true.
have a book that you recommend,
Book that I recommend.
either to young guys or to guys in general?
Right now, I've been going through a book. It's also kind of homework for my church job.
Yeah.
But it's called Prayer, Care, Share.
Okay.
So it's about sharing the gospel
Okay.
through praying over people, but then caring for them,
Okay.
and then sharing the gospel. Because you got to
Right.
build a little bit of equity before you can really just be like,
Yeah.
here you go,
Right.
here's the gospel, and just pouring into their lives instead of just saying like, here's Jesus.
Nice.
Yeah. And then one thing I forgot to mention, and
Yeah.
I think we talked about this, like if our listeners want to buy something on Increase
Yeah.
Jesus, there's a promo code they can use.
Yeah.
Tough
So-
10.
Tough 10.
Tough 10.
Nice.
Yeah. Tough-10.
Okay.
Tough-10.
Yeah.
1-0.
Yeah. 1-0.
And then
Gotcha.
they get a discount or something too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They get
Yeah.
10% off.
10%. That makes sense.
Easy.
Yeah. Yep. Tough 10. Make sure you go check out increasejesus.com. You're going to hear us promoting them throughout this season.
Yeah.
Wearing some of their gear at times.
Yeah.
So
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I do
Thank
too,
you.
man.
Thanks for the shirt.
Seth,
I like
thanks
it.
for coming on. And
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
thanks for coming back to season 6 and listening to us. Make sure you like it, share it,
Yep.
subscribe, all those things Blake tells us to tell you.
Right. Hey, Blake should just do like a little banner across
Yeah,
the
he
bottom
should.
because we forget it every time.
Yeah, just have it running.
Yeah.
Have the little cards that pop up on
Yes.
Yeah.
on the
there
side.
you go.
Yeah, except some people just listen, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What do you do, editor?
Yeah.
Get to
All right.
work.
See you guys next week.